Great Talk with the formulator of the Zija International products, Mr. Russ Bianchi. I'd like to welcome everybody online from wherever you are calling from around the world. And of course, a special and warm welcome to all of our guests listening for the first time. This particular call is a product-centered call, a call that we do each and every Wednesday, and it helps us deliver the message of Moringa, of the Zija International products, and the products which are the foundation right now of the fastest growing company in direct sales. And so welcome, sit back, relax over the next 30 minutes or so. You're going to get a complete overview of the entire Zija product line. And I'd like to apologize for all these beat tones, but still, Russ, it appears still quite a few people coming online. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a preamble here until the entry tones die down a little bit. I understand you just had a great event up in northern Ontario.
Sandy, a good 5 to 6 hours north of Toronto in North Bay, Ontario. Incredible event. There was a reception with XM Plus and Super Mix that was well received. We had harp music, live harp music by New Builder 2, who composed a medley of Uncle Russ's greatest hits from his jukebox at russbianchi.com. So it was a rousing affair. It actually hasn't ended, and I am out talking to you folks now while it continues. It was standing room only here.
Okay, well, you know, Russ, if you could actually send me a picture, I'll post it on Facebook.
Cool.
We got a lot of hits on the picture that I posted from my house last night from the event that you did here at my residence, and thank you for that. There's a lot of people that are already who have come on board since last night's event at my house, which I don't think I'll do anymore. I think we need a hotel next time, even for a private event. But
it was a little warmer. You got a big, beautiful home. Yeah, I think we need a bigger room.
Yeah, well, we're done with bigger homes. Well, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, my name is David Moses. I'll be the host tonight, and we'll get this call underway now. Just to give you a little bit of context for this call, I think it appropriate that I give you a little background on Zija as a company, because the company itself, came into being as a result of a documentary that aired on the Discovery Channel some years ago. And this documentary featured a botanical known as Moringa oleifera. It's a tree that grows in certain parts of the world. It has some very unique properties. It is the most nutrient-dense, nutrient-complete botanical on the planet. Everything the human body requires to sustain high-level wellness and vitality. In fact, everything the human body requires to sustain life. And so the Discovery Channel did this documentary and talked about all of the benefits and so forth. And the documentary was recorded on a VHS video. And that video got into the hands of the founder of our company, Ken Brailsford. Now, when you know Ken's background, then the significance of that becomes relevant. Ken was the co-founder of Nature's Sunshine Products in 1972. He also founded Enrich International in 1985. And those two companies went on to do tens of billions in sales in nutritional products. They also went on to spawn many other nutritional companies in the state of Utah. And so you could say that Ken is somewhat of the grandfather of much of the direct sales industry in the state of Utah. And so it was pretty significant that Ken saw this documentary, because when he saw the documentary, he realized the potential of Moringa and Zija, this company, and all of our products, and the opportunity was born as a result of him viewing that documentary. Now, the biggest challenge that Ken had in starting this company was figuring out if it were even possible to formulate efficacious, cost-effective, great-tasting, compliant products from this botanical. And so Ken had to, of course, bring on board people with the capability, the expertise, and the background to see if formulation were possible and to see if they could actually provide the supply line and so forth. And that job was given to the formulator of the ZJ International products, Mr. Russ Bianchi, who's online with us tonight. And as I mentioned earlier, speaking to you from northern Ontario, about 4.5 hours north of the city of Toronto. So not quite the permafrost line, but it's pretty cold up there in the winter. And Russ, always a pleasure, sir. Thank you for joining us. There's a lot of new people on this line tonight. And as always, maybe you could give a quick snapshot on your background and what it is that you do, and then we'll go into Moringa itself.
Thank you so much, David, and welcome to everyone around the world tonight. It sounds like a blockbuster call with lots of folks still even dialing in. My name is Russ Bianchi. I run a company called Adept Solutions Incorporated. We're a product development firm. We create, convert, and stabilize. We do the pharmaceutical and drug development, food and beverage, skin care and cosmetics, flavor chemistry and stabilization, functional dietary supplementation, and several other categories. If you've perhaps ever seen or consumed an energy bar in North America, our company is responsible for the vast majority of successful brands in the marketplace today. It was a multi-billion-dollar market shift away from traditional categories like breakfast cereal, fat-laden granola bars, candy, etc. from the late 1980s forward. We didn't want to do this project. We turned it down. There's only two reasons I'm on this phone call tonight. The first is the science is overwhelming as to what this plant moringa really is and can do. And the second reason is the founder of our company, ZJ International, and that would be Mr. Ken Brailsford, who turns out to be one of the most efficacious and honest businessmen I've ever met on this planet. I've been close to 150 countries in the world for 3.5 decades. And he promised that the quality and the quality assurance and control and manufacturing and literally plantations and what was required would be absolutely top-notch. And not only has he honored that, he has far exceeded that. He even built a state-of-the-art pharmaceutical-grade plant to the highest FDA inspection standards and credentials. And literally today, this company is poised to do billions. Is built for billions right now, and is just getting started. So that kind of gives you a little background on us.
Well, Russ, the moringa is unique in itself from all other nutritional products, and there's a lot of great products in the marketplace. We all know that. But none of them have the completeness that moringa has, and it's really a miracle in terms of botanicals and trees and so forth. And maybe you could provide some perspective of what makes moringa so unique and special. And then we're going to talk about ZJ really bringing it to market and having first mover advantage.
Certainly, David. Big question. Moringa oleifera, the specific varietal known by ZJ International, has many dozens of species and types of varietals throughout the world, has all the nutrient density, and everyone telling you they have what ZJ has simply is not telling you the truth, or simply does not know. The bottom line is
Russ, if you could move, if you're in a building, you're in northern Ontario, maybe you could move closer to a door or window just so that we get a better signal. Thank you.
I'll try. I hope this is better. The bottom line here is this. Moringa oleifera, per major international, governmental, collegiate, university, scientific organizations throughout the world, has been verified of the specific varietal, species, and components only provided by ZJ International to deliver the nutrient value it does, which is all the essential vitamins and minerals one requires, all the amino acids, 20 of them, 9 essential our bodies don't produce that haven't been in food or beverage for decades. It's providing on top of minerals and vitamins, omega-3, 6, and 9 at larger levels. It's providing antioxidants, anti-carcinogens in the dozens, 36 naturally occurring anti-inflammatories, and literally, David, multiple thousands of published, vetted, referee journal studies over about 6.5 decades. As a matter of fact, David, this plant was tried to be attempted to be developed for drug development for literally decades, and Big Pharma failed. They want to isolate things out of plants, synthesize them, patent them, run them through animal toxicology. They don't kill any rats, pigs, and monkeys, stick them into humans. Maybe 1 out of 6 get approved at the regulatory agencies. 1 out of 7 of those typically will be a blockbuster, make a lot of money, pay for all the others. And of the last just under 6,000 drugs approved at regulatory agencies in North America, as an example, in the last 25 years, the average number of adverse and harmful side effects up to and including premature death is about 70 per drug. These are not my words. These are the words of the former editor-in-chief of 21 years of the New England Journal of Medicine, in a book she wrote called The Truth About the Drug Companies. What we did is we left it alone, David. We left it raw, but we controlled it so that airborne yeast, mold, bacteria, cross-viral contamination would not harm the nutrient integrity. And the real difficult factor was the taste. In nature, to protect itself from its nutrient density from being devoured by insects or animals, it's horrific in taste. So our real challenge was, David, was A, which one was a needle in the haystack of dozens, and then B, how do you overcome the flavor issue for delivery in a beverage, and then C, actually produce a supply that was available with all of the things that go with that. Now, ZJ is the only company that uses leaf puree, fruit puree, seed cake, cellulose, fiber, oil, all the constituent parts. Anyone telling you they've got moringa? They've got grass cuttings, literally of a varietal that's mild in flavor and you can swallow. If you tried to swallow ours, you would never get there. It's that simple. So that kind of gives you some perspective on the plant itself, David.
All right, well, let's talk about, we have several different products and we have 3 major divisions. As everybody knows, we have our weight management division, which is really a centerpiece because so many people have had success and sustained success, I might add. We've got our peak performance system and, of course, our Gen M skincare line, along with our meal replacement and so forth. But let's focus in on weight loss for just a moment. One of the things which has really been amazing, because I've been in this business some 20 years in nutritional type products, and I've seen many diets come, many diets go. But one thing I've also seen, I think everybody would agree on this line, we've all seen, is that we continue to have tremendous weight management problems and all the associated problems that go with that, and it's increased, it's never decreased. Maybe you could share some perspective on that.
David, the problem is summed up in the following. We are horrifically undernourished, terribly overfed, and pandemically overdrugged. We're consuming more than double the calories we did just decades ago. We're receiving, depending on the category, up to 85% less absorbable nutrients in more than double those calories. And we are consuming from cradle to grave somewhere in the neighborhood of 400% more harmful drugs in over 3/4 of the population. There's no mystery what's going on here. We're overfed, undernourished, overdrugged. So we need nutrition to curb that. Moringa oleifera is the solution to the disaster nutritionally. We're nobody's doctor. We're not diagnosing, treating, preventing, curing, mitigating, or prescribing here at all. We're delivering simple nutrition, and if you give the body what it needs, it's the body that self-corrects. And as a result of all of the wonderful things that one can learn about online at websites like the moringabook.com or russbianchi.com about what this does, the body, when it gets the correct fuel, also corrects. And when it's denied the correct fuel or given harmful fuel, it falls apart.
I see. Well, so we have this challenge, and people are, as we all know, overfed. There's no nutrition. Why? What makes our weight management system, our three key component products, the Supermix, the AM capsules, and the detoxification tea unique in that they're not a diet, yet people have had dramatic results, and then they are able to sustain those results?
Great question. Only maybe 1 out of 40 or 50 people in the mid-60s had any weight challenge at all, David. Today it's 7 out of 10. Maybe 1 out of 4 might have had some kind of insulin resistance or glucose blood problem. And today it's 1 out of 3. So there's a major problem, no denying it. But we're not some diet. We're not some kumbaya weigh-in session. We're not celebrities on TV. We're not phony new and improved point scales. We're not meals coming to your house where the packaging tastes better than the food. The bottom line here is those haven't worked for decades, David, because how did we go from 1 out of 50 folks or so with an issue to 7 out of 10 today? So they did work. They're in point of fact a fraud. The bottom line is we give you real nutrition that's not been in food or beverage. That's your foundational base from the most nutrient-dense botanical on planet Earth. Scientifically verified, not refutable. That's it. But then we give you a simple capsule that triggers leptin in your brain for morning, afternoon, or evening use. And your body begins to burn its own fat because you're not hungry anymore. You're what we call satiated. There's a problem, though. If we burn body fat, we're also releasing toxins stored in your body fat. So then we give you a purification or premium tea as the combination of a 1, 2, and 3 punch that will allow anyone to lose all the weight they want permanently. And when they get to where they want to be, what do? They back off on the tea, they back off on the capsules. When do they back off on the nutrition? About their 105th birthday, dying of loneliness, having outlived all their contemporaries. The bottom line is that base nutrition, David, from Moringa and only Zija, from all the constituent parts, simply does not exist in any combination from anyone at any price anywhere else except Zija International in a simple referral model that literally is extremely low cost and even under the Team 250 program can be free. I don't know about you, David. I like free.
Well, I can tell you a lot of people love free. Yeah, I think, from a marketing standpoint, the wonderful thing is that we are first to market, whether we are the only company in our industry that is solely focused on Moringa with a whole range of Moringa-based products. And that's probably why we own the marketplace, and right now are pretty well the fastest growing company in the industry. And I think a lot of people on this line love the idea of being with a company on the move. Another part of the product line that has facilitated all this growth, of course, is our peak performance system. And Dr. Howard Fisher wrote a book on that also, which can be purchased at themoringabook.com, specifically on peak performance. There are a tremendous number of energy drinks. It is a multi-billion-dollar market. I think upwards of $70 billion just in these energy drinks. And Zija has come out with a nutritionally sound version that tastes great and is extremely effective without all of the things that we find in stuff on the store shelf, and maybe you could talk about our peak performance system.
Sure. Mineral energy bar, David, and they provide or did provide real kinesiological or sports energy, sustained blood glucose, no blood sugar crash or hypoglycemic event, no lactic acid buildup, no cramping, no injury, better endurance, speed, performance, and results. Well, we did it with XM3, but we were only able to do it through Moringa. And what we came up with XM Plus and XM3 that actually delivered that. Literally Olympic medals, literally championships in professional sports, literally championships in collegiate, high school, junior high school athletics have all been achieved on XM Plus and XM3. This is not deniable. It's documentable. Howard W. Fisher wrote a book called In Pursuit of Perfection at thebrainbook.com explaining all this. But why do these work and all the ones that are out there hyping power and energy don't? Because chemistry doesn't lie. They're full of lethal level of anhydrous synthetic chemical caffeine that is known to stop your heart in combination with blood depressants like alcohol. They've got nasty, should not generally recognize the safe taurine and guarana in them. They're linked with cancer and birth defects. They've got B6 and 12 vitamins that are synthetically derived from the intestines of pigs and slaughterhouses before the rest is macerated for cheap generic canned pet food. Carcinogenic high-intensity sweeteners, carcinogenic colorants, acidulants, preservatives, stabilizers. These are a chemical nightmare. No wonder they don't give safe and effective results. Only at Zija will you find effective, guaranteed, no risk, and results delivering sports energy that no one else on the planet has except at Zija International.
Well, I can tell you that the peak performance system is one of the fastest moving startups that we have, along, of course, with weight management. Let's just, we have a few more minutes, and I'd love to cover the skincare line. That presentation you did last night at my home is still resonating. People loved the description and the training that you gave on the Gen M skincare line. I know that you've been involved in formulation of many skincare lines that are in the marketplace, and we are unique. We're different because it is all natural, hyperallergenic, and maybe, Russ, you could expand on that.
Love the skin you're in. It's the largest organ on our bodies. It protects everything else. And not only do we nutritionally have to feed it internally, topically we have to deliver also because it's so abused from environmental factors that we don't have time to go into tonight. But the bottom line is this. I've done international, multinational, and global recognized brands in Europe, the United Kingdom, North and Central America, as well as Asia. You would know all these names. And I can emphatically and empirically prove to you that Gen M, Generation Moringa, is 10 years ahead of any of them and more effective. The bottom line is this: no parabens, no phthalates, no alcohol, none of the nasty chemistry people say isn't there in other brands. It's not in Gen M. Hypoallergenic, gluten-free, tested on all skin groups. The superlatives go on, but the bottom line is this: never confuse activity with results. Guaranteed results with Gen M that nobody else provides in a direct, simple referral model with highly lucrative referral schedule. They're even giving in profit participation pools net profits of the company away that have plenty of room for people to qualify for, from $0 to $1 billion. This isn't a linear growth model, David. This is a multiple geometric progression. This company is on pace, and correct me if I'm wrong, to double again here in the very foreseeable future. And what we're seeing is when people get results, not only do they join as users, but then they realize that there's an opportunity to refer folks and get some money wire transferred to them every Friday night. It's a beautiful thing. No capital outlay, no traditional overhead of traditional businesses with leases and employees and manufacturing and logistics and withholding and everything that goes on. It's a brilliant model, thanks to the founder, Ken Brailsford, who's done this twice before, and he, not I, is responsible. In fact, there's a famous quote from Ken: Zija International will do more than his other two previous successful companies combined, all with one tree. I mean, that's an amazing statement for someone like me who's been around for 3.5 decades in international business. We will see more people with true nutritionally based wellness as well as empirically based wealth from Zija than has ever occurred before in any direct referral model.
Well, I think everybody that was on the call on Monday night, we had upwards of, well, we were in the thousands of people, got a sense of that when Ken shared the vision of the company in the present, you know, what's happening today that is setting us up for tomorrow and where we're going. And I think everybody would have got that. Russ, it's always a pleasure. I know that you've stepped out of a big event up north in North Bay, and you're probably in the hallway of a hotel doing this call. Thank you. It's a lot of driving, a lot of flying, a lot of commitment on your part that you have put into driving this and providing education and information for everybody. And we thank you for that from around the world, and for me, from my home office here in Toronto. Ladies and gentlemen, you've just heard from the formulator of the Zija International products, and hopefully you got a little bit more perspective on our product line. It is a world-class product line that will build a legacy company. It'll be the foundation of a legacy company, meaning a business that we can pass on to our children and to our grandchildren. Why? Because people will use the products whether they do the business or not. And that's a beautiful thing when the products can stand on their own. And we have that here. And that's why Ken Brailsford's previous companies are still in business today. Nature's Sunshine, over 40 years in business. Why? World-class products. If you're new on the line tonight, what I want you to do, or what I invite you to do, is get back with the person who invited you, get your questions answered, and choose to come on board with us. We will help you and assist you every step of the way in building and advancing your business. Zija is right now at a trajectory to double this year in 2013 in size. That'll take us from 125 plus million to over 250 million, and that'll all be because of the results that people are getting on these products. And so get back with the person who invited you to this call, get your questions answered, and we look forward to helping you achieve whatever your dreams, goals, and aspirations are. There will be a business presentation call tomorrow evening on this same number at this same time. You're most certainly welcome to join us. Thank you, everybody. And ladies and gentlemen, the lines are open.
Signing out. Las Vegas, Nevada.